Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome to the new dairy. We've got to take a tour of the dairy, cut some hay, and get threshing some oats. So let's hit that intro and we'll get into today's video. Alrighty, everybody, we are gonna pull up to the shop here, and so this is the farm truck here. It is a 2024 Ford F350. We got a flatbed on the back with a transfer tank to get fuel to the combine and everything out in the field. So here's the very back right corner of the farm. We do mainly, what we always do is we just put oats in this thing here. And then that, or we do corn. So what we'll do is we'll harvest the oats, probably just sell them at the co-op, and then we'll take and put the corn in here, sell that in December and January. So we'll start at the shop over here. Here's just our big old fuel tank. This holds all of our diesel and everything. So this is our shop here. We have a pressure washer. This is our skid steer. So our farm's pretty small, but every single year we seem to be able to upgrade it to get bigger and bigger. So anyways, this is our little Bobcat skid steer. We just use this thing to move a little bit of hay, but it's mainly just to use seed pallets and everything. Here is my 6520. This is our loader tractor. This is what we use just to move the bales and rake hay and everything. Here is our 2388 case combine. We only do oats and corn on this farm. Every once in a while we'll do a little bit of beans, but it's mainly just oats and corn. So this is our 2388. We use this to chop or cut a little bit of corn. We usually cut 1 or 2 fields of corn, and then the rest we cut for silage. So that's that. And then here we have our Great Plains seeder. We use this a lot, seeding grass and oats and everything. Here's our planter. This is a Kinze 3660 Blue Drive. It's the smallest planter that's still American that I wanted to run. So if we get any good American planters, we will be swapping it out for that. So anyways, working back up this way through the farm here, we'll head back up to the front of the farm. So we'll head right over here to this shed here. This shed here is pretty much slam packed with everything. Most of our tractors and everything's in here. So this is the back of the shed. Okay, so this is our big workhorse on the farm. Y'all ain't gonna believe me when I say it, but it's only got 8,958 hours on it. This thing, we just use it to pull the chopper and tillage. Sometimes we'll use it to plant with, but we sometimes use the 7810 too. So, but anyways, the 7810 has, I want to say, 9,000 hours on it, roughly. This is our main hay and tractor. We usually bale with this tractor, and we cut silage with this tractor sometimes, but it mainly pulls the chopper boxes, or the boxes, I should say. Here is our chopper. So this next upcoming year, I really want to get a self-propelled chopper, because this is something we just kind of been putting off. We ain't really been focusing on this a whole lot. And then up over here, we have our 561 all-around baler. Every single year, somehow, we tend to be able to upgrade the farm, and ever since we upgraded this about 2 years ago, we've really been able to put out some hay with this joker here. We've put up about 3,000 rolls in 2 years, because we cut a lot of hay on this farm. Working up, this is my pride and joy right here, the New Holland disc combine here. I love this thing. And then this is my favorite tractor on the farm. It is our John Deere 4440. This is what we cut hay and bale hay with. This is my favorite tractor on the whole farm. We actually have one of these IRL. And I really do love this thing. Over here we have a tedder and a little rake. We don't really use these no more, but this is our New Holland square baler. Sometimes we'll use this to put up straw. So like we'll do one field of these that we sell to a couple of hay or cattle ranchers that they feed them to their horses. But that's really it. Here we have our grass head, and up here we just have our gravity wagon, which we're looking to get a second one because one is a little small for us now because we run a good amount of acreage on this farm. And then working through the front of the farm, there ain't a whole lot up here, just some miscellaneous equipment. And then back here's the hay field in my house. This is just one of our hay fields down back there around the corner. We have another one, and then I'm trying to think, where's the other one though? Oh yeah, it's right out front up here. I don't know how I could forget that. But anyways, this is just a miscellaneous equipment. We have our straw blower, seed tender, which we bought new about a year ago because we just do so much seeding and liming on this farm. Here we have our two hay haulers, which I don't really use no more. We have a gooseneck for that, so we don't really use this a whole lot anymore. Have our weeder because we have to use this a lot from where we don't have a sprayer. Our disc here, we don't really use this disc no more. We just plow everything under and then field cultivate it in the spring. Working up this way, off to the right here, we have this cattle pen here, which has about 18 head in it. That one right there has about 12 head in it. Which these gals ain't got no food, so we've got to get them some food made here. So we're going to cut some hay in just a little bit. This is what we put our haylage in. So we'll do our first cut in hay, and then our second cut will be all silage. So that's that. So we'll end up making all hay this time. And then these are our two. Let me rephrase that. This is our chopper boxes. Here we have a little bit bigger one than this one, and this is just our gooseneck here. Then working back this way, we have our two stave silos. This is all for corn. So this one here, we do most of our corn, and then we'll fill this one fully, and then this one here will fill about 3/4. So we really could just use two smaller ones because we don't really have a whole lot of head of cattle. This is just a little feeding room, or I should say not feeding room, but we got to our forage mixer that's right over there. We usually keep in here, but we didn't do that this year, so I've got to try to open up this door here though. Okay, so this is our shed here that I was telling you all about. This right there. This is the inside of it. We got to get them cattle some bedding and some food and all. So we're going to take and head to the left of the farm here. This is a little manure heap over here. We ain't got no manure yet because we just got now started doing this. But in here, we got to do the same thing as the other one. But in here, there's 50 head. So we run 80 head of cattle. I think it would be. Yeah, 80 head of cattle. So, this one here produces mainly milk and calves. So what we'll do is we'll sell out the calves because we just want to keep the mamas for milk. So we'll sell out the calves. We'll sell out half of them. So this year will be 25 we sell out. And then we'll keep the 25 just to keep on getting bigger and bigger. Over there we just have a manure heap and our slurry tanker. And then back here we just have some augers and everything. So yep. I don't understand these augers, dude. These augers always screw up in this game. I literally left them all perfectly straight, I swear, and they just do that every sometimes. So that's why I stuffed them back here to where I ain't gotta worry about them. But anyways, working up to the front of the farm. This is our hay shed over here that we put our hay bales in. And sometimes we'll wrap bales, but we don't own a wrapper because I had just got rid of it because we didn't really ever wrap any bales. So this is our forage mixer here. Feed wagon, I should say. This thing here will feed a load to each barn in the morning. So that barn there, that barn, then this barn here will each feed a load to. Here we have our manure spreader. This thing here we use a lot in the fall time and spring. Here is my favorite tractor, or second favorite tractor on the farm, I should say. This thing here has about 12,000 hours on it. We literally just redid this whole thing this past winter here, and it's done really good. It mainly sits on the tedder, and this thing here, which we only use this, we don't use this a whole lot. We mainly use this thing over here and our rake. This rake here is awesome. We got this about 7 years ago, and it's just done great. And then in here, this is just our seed storage area. So we'll put seed and pro boxes and everything like that in here in the springtime. But coming around this way, we have our two headers. This is a 20-foot Case IH head and then an 8-row corn head. So we ain't gonna chop this field this year. We're gonna take and so I'll show y'all guys the land here in just a second once my game gets done saving. Okay, so we're gonna chop these two fields here this year. This will be our two corn plots that we get for regular corn, and then these are our two oat fields. So we're gonna go get in the 4440 and get some hay cut, and then right after that, right after we get the hay laid down, we're gonna start cutting some oats over there. So I'm gonna get the 4440 fired up, and then I'll see y'all guys once we get out to the field. Alrighty guys, we're out to the field. We just gotta shut this gate back, try not to get taken out. We have about 100 acres, I would say, of hay ground. So we cut, I want to say, we usually get this thing here fired up and set down, but we tend to cut a lot of hay in the spring and everything. So this is our little pond. So this used to all be cattle pasture until we got into dairy. So we took and we sold off all of our steers and everything, and we just got strictly into dairy. So we built all those barns and everything, and that's just what we've been doing for the past couple of months, or a couple of years, I should say. So right down there we have about 20 acres, and then we used to own that big plot back there, but Dad and I said, yeah, that's just too much. So we took and we sold that, and they ripped up the waterway and everything that we had in it and planted that all the arable farm ground. Most of that was all hay ground, just a bunch of waterways in that plot, and that's really the main reason why we stopped farming it, because we was just like, dude, we don't need that much hay ground. So this is our second oat field. I don't know how good it's going to yield because I just now started farming this place, and because my dad passed away about a year ago and they needed somebody to take over the farm. You know, I've been farming this place for a while. I just went to college and everything, so gotta do that. But anyways, I'm gonna get some of this field cut, and I'll see y'all guys after. Last heading to the pass, and then we'll start the up and downs. But this field here is just so weirdly shaped that's why we turned this all into hay ground and pasture, was because this used to all be a cornfield and oats field, but it's just so weird with the pond and all right here, and the house and all up there. So yep, so we turned this into hay ground about 10 years ago, hay ground slash pasture about 10 years ago. So every once in a while we'll let the cattle out here and graze for a little bit, like a week or two, until they eat all of this stuff up. So it don't take long. But I forgot to tell y'all, we have about 30 acres down there behind the co-op, but we ain't gonna mow that today. We're only gonna mow 3 of our 4 fields, that's including the co-op. We're gonna mow the one up in front of the house there on the corner. We're gonna mow the one back there beside the oat field, and then we're already mowing this one. Which this one here is a little bit weedy because we wasn't able to get the weeder out here because the weeder would kind of tear it up. So we would have to rent a sprayer from the co-op, and I did not want to put chemicals on what's going into my cattle's stomach. So we will just take and just leave that like that. But anyways, I might roll y'all guys into a little time lapse, and then we'll get this hay knocked out. Alrighty guys, we got 2 out of the 4 fields knocked out that we're going to do today. We got the one up front, then we got the one right back there. It's a little smaller field, but it'll still bring a little bit of hay. So scratch my idea, we're going to turn all this to hay. All of the 4 fields that we cut today, we're going to do to hay, but the big field that's behind the co-op that we'll hopefully try to do next video, we will be doing that into haylage. So that's what we're going to be doing, but I don't know about y'all, but I love cutting hay from inside the cab of this 4440. It's pretty sweet. But anyways, I think I've seen some guys pull up to the dairy farm, and get the combine and the 8950 pulled out of the shed and shop and get them all set up for oats. So that's what we'll be doing next, but I'm gonna get all this hay knocked out, and then I'll see y'all guys once we start cutting some oats. Alrighty, well, we are starting to cut some oats here. We got all them fields cut with the disc vine and 4440. We didn't cut that big field that was behind the co-op yet, because we're gonna cut that probably next month after we get on with cutting some silage and all. We're gonna make that haylage with the forage harvester and everything. So we went and picked up another wagon from my buddy Cody over there. He farms about 20 minutes away, and he helps work on the farm during summer because he just does a couple of cattle, and he buys a little bit of hay off of me. So he takes and he helps on the farm, and then that just pretty much pays for his hay, and then I pay him extra because he does help a lot. But anyways, we bought a Parker gravity wagon from him today for about 10 grand because he bought it because he thought he was going to get into a little bit of row cropping, but he said it's just too expensive and I don't get paid enough. So anyways, we're going to keep cutting these oats here, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. So whenever we're getting this field knocked out pretty decent here, we've got about a quarter of it done so far. But anyways, whenever we go to rake and bale this stuff up, I think I'm gonna bring the rake out here and rake them 2 rows together. I think hopefully if the rake can reach that far, we'll take and rake them 2 rows together. But anyways, guys, I think that's gonna be all for today's video. If you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe. And make sure to leave a comment of how this video was. Anyways, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.